It is my honor to commend you for your service in the armed forces of our country. Thank you for putting your life at risk that we may have.
Thank you so much for your dedication to God and our country. Many times we take for granted our freedom. When you are at war and people who don't pray for you go about their daily lives, they don't realize what a sacrifice that you've made for our country.
You gave a part of your life and dedicated it to your country. Your sacrifice is the reason that I have the freedom to worship my God. Words can never express my gratitude.
Can you see how God directed you or protected you or worked things out in your life while you were in the service?
Oh my, yeah. It just, about the only close call I had was after I volunteered for the K-9 Corps. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I was walking guard over there, and I had my dog on about a 20-foot leash, and I sat down to rest for a little bit, and all of a sudden he yanked me backwards on the ground. I was sitting down, and he yanked me backwards, and I turned around to see what the deal was, and he could smell this North Korean. Evidently, he didn't know that dog was there, but anyhow, I turned around, that dog had him down on the ground.
Wow.
You know, we always knew that God was out there with us.
Right.
Although we weren't living the life at the time.
Right.
But as a matter of fact, on October the 26th, 1966, when the ship caught fire, he had to be with some of us that day, I know for sure.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the alarm went off about 7:23 or something like that in the morning, and had that happened later in the day, that's where I would have been working that day. I'd have been up in the forward part of the ship, about where the fire was. So, yeah.
There was one time, it's funny now when I think back at it, but we were going up this street and being engaged, and we ran across this street corner, and we didn't know it at the time, but we'd all actually walked over this IED in the ground there on the corner. About 5 minutes later, I was standing on the other side of the street, probably 8 feet away or so, and they tried to blow it, and the detonator went off, but explosives didn't, so it turned out to be like, I think they said 80 pounds of explosives, so yeah.
Sleep. Well, this was my night to sleep when we got hit, so I'm in my little mosquito net in my bed, and I've got my little green skivvies on, and all of a sudden incoming starts coming in, and I'm running out there to my fighting position and carrying all of my little ammo, and all I had was an M16 and that type of thing. And what happened is that we had a couple of the kids living with us, you know, because we were teaching them and training them, and 2 of them opened up the front gate and let them come right on in. And so it wasn't so close it was hand-to-hand combat, but it was from, you know, but they came as close as about 10 feet away.
Wow.
So, you know, here we're firing and everything else, and to make a long story short, God protected me, but everybody else was killed except for me and one other man.
Wow.
When you get into that type of a situation, all of a sudden where the rubber meets the road, there are no atheists in foxholes.
Right.
I heard people dying and they cried out for 2 things, either Jesus or Mama.
Right.
There wasn't any, you know, I'm an atheist. I never heard that one.
Right. And
And so the point being is that God becomes real in that situation, and you begin to take a look at what you were brought up as. And if you have no foundation to rely on, you fall apart.
Right.
So when guys come back from Vietnam, you know, they're a mess. They can't cope with it because they don't have the foundation of God to help heal their mind and their soul.
Right.
And so I didn't have the problems when I came back from Vietnam, even though I'd probably seen more death, probably was in more firefights than most. And even though I was there, God gave me a peace, and I knew.
Your sacrifice, dedication, patriotism, and loyalty are worthy of our honor. On this and
all of
every
our
day,
veterans,
we
thank
salute you.
for your sacrifice to help keep our country free. It's often said that freedom is not free. That is so true. Our freedom in Christ cost Jesus his life, and our freedom as a country cost many men their lives.
What a price for freedom, but I'm grateful for it. Thank you to all our veterans and those serving today.